Hi everyone. This time I'll talk about survey process. First topic is modes of data collection. Survey data can be collected in three ways. At first, through the mail. Advantage is low cost. Disadvantage is low response rate. Second one is by telephone. Advantages: higher response rates. Responses can be gathered more quickly. Disadvantage is more expensive than mail surveys and face-to-face. Advantages: highest response rate, better suited to collecting complex information. Disadvantage is very expensive. Next topic is sampling procedure. Sampling is a technique in which a subgroup of the population is selected to answer the survey questions. The information collected can be generalized to the entire population of interest. One of the primary strengths of sampling is that accurate estimates of a population's characteristics can be obtained by surveying a small proportion of the population. Four sampling techniques are described here. Simple random sampling is the most basic form of sampling. Every member of the population has an equal chance of being selected. This sampling process is similar to a lottery. The entire population of interest could be selected for the survey, but only a few are chosen at random. Researchers often use random digit dialing to perform simple random sampling. In this procedure, telephone numbers are generated by a computer at random and called to identify individuals to participate in the survey. Cluster sampling. Cluster sampling is generally used when it is geographically impossible to take a simple random sample. Cluster sampling requires that adjustments be made in statistical analysis. For example, in face-to-face interview, it is difficult and expensive to survey households across the nation. Instead, researchers will randomly select geographic areas, for example counties, then randomly select households within these areas. This creates a cluster sample in which respondents are clustered together geographically. Stratified sampling. Stratified samples are used when a researcher wants to ensure that there are enough respondents with certain characteristics in the sample. The researcher first identifies the people in the population who have the desired characteristics, then randomly selects a sample of them. Stratified sampling requires that adjustments be made in statistical analysis. For example, a researcher may want to compare survey responses of African Americans and Caucasians. To ensure that there are enough African Americans in the survey, the researcher will first identify the African Americans in the population and then randomly select a sample of African Americans. Non-random sampling. Common non-random sampling techniques include convenience sampling, and snowball sampling. Non-random samples cannot be generalized to the population of interest. Consequently, it is problematic to make inferences about the population. In survey research, random, cluster, or stratified samples are preferable. Next topic is measurement error control. Measurement error is the difference between the target population's characteristics and the measurement of these characteristics in a survey. There are two types of measurement error: systematic error and random error. Systematic error. Systematic error is more serious than random error. Systematic error occurs when the survey responses are systematically different from the target population responses. For example, if a researcher only surveyed individuals who answered their phone between 9 and 5, Monday through Friday, the survey results would be biased toward individuals who are unemployed. Sources of bias include the following two: non-observational error and observational error. In non-observational error, individuals in the target population are systematically excluded from the sample, such as in the example above. Observational error. When respondents systematically answer survey's question incorrectly. For example, surveys that ask respondents how much they weigh will probably underestimate the population's weight because respondents are likely to underreport their weight. Now, random error. Random error is an expected part of survey research, and statistical techniques are designed to account for this sort of measurement error. Random error occurs because of natural and uncontrollable variations in the survey process, such as the mood of the respondent. For example, a researcher may administer a survey about marital happiness. However, some respondents may have had a fight with their spouse at the evening prior to the survey, while other respondents' spouses may have cooked the respondent's favorite meal. The survey responses will be affected by the random day on which the respondents were chosen to participate in the study. With random error, the positive and negative influences on the survey measure balance out. Next, I'll talk about ethics. First topic is informed consent. Respondents should give informed consent before participating in a survey. In order for respondents to give informed consent, the researcher must inform the respondents of the study purpose, content, duration, and potential risks and benefits. The researcher must inform the respondents that they do not have to answer all the survey questions. The researcher must inform the respondents that they can stop participating in the study at any point. Confidentiality and anonymity. It is absolutely imperative that researchers keep respondents' identifiers confidential. To ensure confidentiality, researchers should not link respondents' identifiers to their survey responses when using data. Common identifiers include name, social security numbers, addresses, and telephone numbers. Anonymity. Anonymity is an even stronger safeguard of respondent privacy. If a researcher assures anonymity, it means that the researcher is unable to link respondents' names to their surveys. Last topic is advantages and disadvantages of survey research. Advantages. Sample surveys are cost-effective and efficient means of gathering information about a population. Survey sampling makes it possible to accurately estimate the characteristics of a target population without interviewing all members of the population. Survey sampling is particularly useful when the population of interest is very large or dispersed across a large geographic area. Disadvantages. Surveys do not allow researchers to develop an intimate understanding of individual circumstances or the local culture that may be the root cause of respondent behavior. Respondents often will not share sensitive information in the survey format. A growing problem in survey research is the widespread decline in response rates.